I don't know. And we're having Chris Landry on here a little
Yeah.
bit later in the show at 8:00, just under an hour. Chris Landry, longtime friend of ours and of the station, former scout. One of the things I think it'd be fun to talk to him about is just the difficulties of scouting, of looking at a guy like Trey Lance,
Yeah.
who Trey Sermon,
Yeah.
who, it's almost the antithesis of what we talked about with Trey Lance. That's why I mixed them up, because one of the things we said is, well, Trey Lance, North Dakota State, hasn't really played a lot, and then when he plays, he's playing against these other, tiny schools. And now he's in the NFL. And by the way, that may all be true and he may be terrible. But in Trey Sermon's case, he was playing for the Ohio State University. He's playing against the biggest of the big boys on the biggest college stage you can, and excelling. And then he comes into the Niners and just stinks. He's out. He's a third-round pick out in a year.
Yeah, that they, if I'm not mistaken, to trade it up to get him.
Yes.
In that round. So they thought highly of him, understandably, and I don't think this is it for him. It's it for him with the Niners, but yeah, I don't know why it didn't work.
I mean, I will say this. In the Shanahan-Lynch era, the Niners have gotten a starter or a starting caliber player in the 5th round or later pretty much every year but one, and that was 2018 when they had no one. They got George Kittle and DJ Jones in rounds 5 and 6 and 7 in 2017. Dre Greenlaw was round 5 in 2019. Maybe it's a stretch. Juwan Jennings in 2020 was round 7. Elijah Mitchell last year, round 6, along with Talanoa Hufanga, who was around 5. And then this year we'll see Spencer Burford and Samuel Womack, rounds 4 and 5 as well. So it will be interesting to see what happens. I appreciate that it doesn't matter where you got drafted. Jimmy Ward was also placed on injured reserve as well. But I'll eat crow on this, and it won't be the first or last time. I wanted Trey Lance in the draft when they traded up to grab him. It was extra fun because I had identified him as one of the guys I wanted the Niners to get. They traded up for him, and you're thinking, wow, I should be in the draft for him. Well, that didn't work out, and it got me thinking about like the Thomas Robinson correlation.
Sure,
we've all had those. And mine in basketball is probably Thomas Robinson. And honestly, I think in football now, it's probably Trey Sermon.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball doesn't really count.
Yeah, it's harder. Yeah. For me, and this is going to sound like a connection to UCLA with Josh Rosen, but it wasn't the homer part. Sure. I wanted him to be good because he went to UCLA.
Sure.
But I watched him play every snap of every game in college. And Dave, I was as certain as you could possibly be. He looked like a player to me that was a good college player that would be better. I go, better receivers, sure. Better lot. Like, he's going to be awesome. He's can't miss. He is a can't miss. He would throw guys open. He had the look of a pro quarterback to me. And I obviously missed it, but why did he? And yesterday he got cut again.
That's insane.
And I think it's 7, 8. I don't know how many teams it's been now. And he hasn't been around that long.
No.
And I'm not even saying they're wrong. Obviously, those teams are right. It hasn't worked. I don't know. He's got the arm strength, got the frame. Just it's another level that he couldn't handle.
25 years old. 25 years old. Was picked 10th in the draft.
And also, I know in draft day, like he had that quote now that's coming back. It's like, these 9 teams are going to pay for this, and it's like, no, they didn't.
No,
but I want my quarterback to have confidence like that. He's not the guy. And I saw him play every snap of college. I mean, he is going to be great. He was not.
Don't we? We were talking yesterday about names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in retrospect, though, and it's easy to get on people like, oh, in retrospect, don't we kind of know there's 0 chance this guy's going to succeed? Like, we know it's not going to happen. There's just that's not a winner.
No.
Yeah, that's what you look at him and go, that's a champion.
Is that different than, I don't know, Eli Manning?
Okay. Anytime it goes, someone's got to bring up Eli Manning. Eli Manning was the outlier of all outliers.
Okay.
I can't explain Eli Manning. I've never been able to explain Eli Manning. Eli Manning Eli Manning was like, Eli Manning honestly was like our generation's Joe Namath. Like he's actually better than Joe Namath, so that's kind of not accurate. But like Joe Namath, the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. He just is. He played in New York and he won the Super Bowl, which is great. But Joe Namath was basically Trent Dilfer with a fur coat.
And a bold prediction that came true.
You're 100% correct. It was more the legend of Joe Namath than anything else. And that's fine and good for him. And, I got my little Joe Namath jersey at home. And I love the lore, but let's not get lost that Joe Namath belongs. And whereas Eli Manning just, listen, he did. You look at Eli Manning's numbers, it's actually interesting. He had some pretty prolific years.
Absolutely.
But like it's such a weird career. Both Super Bowls against the Patriots, both underdogs. And then the one where they wrecked that undefeated year, the Tyree helmet catch. What I think personally is, and it's hilarious that it's Eli Manning, I think it's one of the greatest plays I've ever seen at a high level from a quarterback, was the escape by Eli Manning, staying on his feet and completing that pass.
Right.
That's one of the greatest plays I've ever seen out of quarterback. But I have no way. Like Eli Manning's loser face is normal. He has RLA. He has resting loser face.
Yeah.
But he's a 2-time champion.
And then to that, that you go family lineage, like, okay, you could see why he would work. It's just, it's such an interesting process of why high talented people don't work sometimes in these sports, on these teams.
Right.
Like why? And then others that, the odds of Tom Brady being what he became, where he was drafted, doesn't make sense.
No, it does not make. That's the thing. It's like, why are we paying these scouts?
Right.
What's the point? By the way, people chiming in too on the text line. Danny and Chula Vista talking about out of Notre Dame, Jimmy Clausen. Jimmy Clausen. Notre Dame's got Rick Mirer.
Yeah.
What, number 2?
Yeah. Who's the other one?
Brady Quinn.
Paulus, right?
Ron Paulus. Oh my God, Ron Paulus. Somebody, I gotta find the quote, but somebody was it Beano Cook?
2 Heismans, right?
Oh my, just Ron Paulus just is the man. Kevin Barlow in the NFL, and Michael Beasley in the
Michael Beasley's so talented.
I still think Michael Beasley. If Michael Beasley's head was on straight, he'd have been a multi-time All-Star. Yeah. You saw the flash.
Absolutely, man.
From the 916, excellent question. Has anyone actually eaten crow?
I have not.
I haven't either.
The proverbial, but not eaten.
That's a great point. Anyone in the other room, show of hands, anyone ever eat crow?
Tastes like chicken.
Like actual crow. No, there's no that's down the hall. I'm sure back in the day, in like medieval times.
Is that where the saying came from?
Eating crow?
Yeah.
I'm going to find that out during the break. I'll have an answer for you.
Where did eating crow come from?
When we get back.